click on that here, and this is until 10:15, and that's for Fairfield, Newberry. I don't worry about Newberry, even though you're in on that. The worst is done for you. Don't even worry about that. It should be northern Richland County, and then into Fairfield County. So this would also include Irmo, pretty much just to the west of Blythewood, would be our tornado warning. All right, so careful for that. I would say Blythewood, even though you're not under the tornado warning, I want you to pretend that you are. The reason being, I want you to take it seriously. Know that these storms are headed your way and they've already produced a tornado. So that means, could you have a tornado? It's possible. You're not under our warning yet, but certainly the conditions are ripe because we have a tornado watch that's in effect till 1 o'clock this afternoon. So let's go back to here and I'll show you the reason why I think that we're pretty much done here for Batesburg, Leesville. Notice this is rain, right? So this is pretty much decent rain. Got some heavy rain, but notice the heavier, darker cells are to your east. Moneta, Ridge Springs, Saluda, you have some showers. Nothing to worry about there. That's no severe weather at all. All right, so notice behind that, everything is decent rain, but you're done. You're done with severe weather. It's this line now that we're watching through Chapin, central Lexington County, all the way down to Aiken County, western part of, this is headed towards Orangeburg, but western part of Lexington County, all the way through Windsor, New Ellington. It's now past Aiken, so Aiken, you're fine for severe weather. My biggest concern now is Lexington County through Richland County into Fairfield County with Chapin under that tornado warning. The worst now for Chapin is towards the east. So this is now to the east of I-26. So remember, this was over you moments ago when we had the tornado warning. Now it's towards the east. You have a decent cell here producing some pretty heavy rain, some gusty winds, but notice right behind that, it's rain. So I can't stress enough. That's why I really don't want you to panic. Once this, don't need to panic. Just head to your safe space. But once we're done with these big storms, that's it. It's a one and done. We'll have some rain afterwards. There'll be no more severe weather. So once you get the big wind and the rain that moves on through, we're done with that. Notice Jenkinsville South. Again, any one of these cells here producing damaging winds as it moves on through. Spotted by radar was the tornado. Again, it could very easily have been spotted but not touched down. Let me take you to what we look at here as far as the view is concerned is rotation, and I don't see any rotation. Here's a great example of this. Do you see how smooth this is? You've got the smooth. That's an indication that it has to be jagged. So what we look for is rotation. As green means the wind's coming towards the radar. Red means it's going away from the radar. And when the two meet, are very close together, that's an indication of rotation. The wind's spinning in the atmosphere. And it looks very jagged and very, doesn't look nice and neat. This looks way too nice and neat, right? So, which is an indication to me that the rotation just isn't there, or was there, but it just disappeared very quickly. Now, that doesn't mean there's not strong winds. I'll promise you that much. There's a lot of strong winds here with that, but as far as any rotation, I'm not seeing that at this point. So here's our tornado warning. Let me go over there one more time here with this. So they've moved. Notice how the tornado warning has been dropped for Batesburg, Leesville, east. Remember, it was till 10 o'clock. As these storms move to the east, as fast as they're moving, they're going to drop the tornado warnings, right? Because that means the threat's gone. So like I said, the threat east, or rather west of Batesburg, Leesville, done. Saluda, you're fine. Ridge Springs, you're fine. Chapin, you're going to be fine here in just a few minutes. Newberry, you're fine. No more severe weather, I promise you that. Gilbert, not so much. We have that storm moving on through. Lexington, the tornado warning is not issued for you, but I want you to pretend, if you will humor me here, that that's headed your way, right? Because there's going to be some pretty strong winds, up to 60 miles per hour, some hail, frequent lightning. And again, it's going to feel like something's going on here because the wind's blowing anyway. So just be prepared for that. Know that where your safe place is in your house, or if you're at work, y'all have some sort of routine. Remember, we did the tornado drill just yesterday. So the timing for this, is just right on target here. Here's our next tornado warning. This is further towards the north. This includes Fairfield, Lexington, although it says Newberry, just that western part of the lake for Newberry, but trust me, there's no worry there. and Richland County. This would include Irmo, Blythewood. This does not include you, but like I said, I want you to think that it does. So you're prepared for what's headed your way here off to the west in just a few more minutes. That tornado warning goes till 10:15. So this is a pretty decent cell. Notice there's Jenkinsville. This is all, let me see if I can, let's see if we can get this rolling here and maybe move this a little bit. Let's give you the last, let's do the last 30 minutes. All right, so this is the last 30 minutes. Oops, go back here. And there it is. So there's no more rotation here with this, not seeing that, so we're good there. Here's a look at radar one more time. Notice we're done with the severe weather for the Batesburg, Leesville, Saluda County. That is the cell we're watching now. And this particular cell near Chapin, near Ballantyne, White Rock, and this is now to the east of Chapin. So Chapin, at this point, in Little Mountain, you're done. This is how fast this thing is moving, right? So, again, Chapin, you're pretty much done with severe weather, all right? You're in the clear. Now, you still have some gusty winds and some rain, but the tornado threat is to the east of you, all right? So this is what we'll have to watch now. 26 is probably a white-knuckle ride. If you're talking to somebody on the phone, have them pull over to the side until this thing passes. Of course, you can't be talking on the phone anyway, right? On the cell phone with somebody driving, but be extra cautious for that. Let me zoom out here and I'll show you what we're looking at. This is the line now that's going to move through the city here in just a little bit. So I would say heads up Lexington, West Columbia, Casey, Columbia itself, Blythewood. You'll see this coming up in just a few minutes as well. Again, this is racing off towards the east at a fairly good clip here at roughly about, I'd say 40 miles per hour. So that's pretty fast. Hence, we're getting these updrafts here that contain. So there's our tornado warning. One more time here. Let me see if we can clear this up here so I'll give you an idea of what we're looking at. So now we have another tornado warning that's been issued, which I'm not surprised is that same cell. So we'll zoom in here a little bit closer. If you're just joining us, we're tracking now 3 tornado warnings in a row here. We've got this one, which is near Gilbert. Give you the information here. This is the one near Gilbert that is moving off towards the east till it says 9:50. So we're just pretty much done with that. So I don't know why that says 9:50, but it continues to show that it's on there. So I would surmise we're done with that anyway, mainly because the activity seems to just be dissipated with that particular cell. But now we have a tornado warning that includes Columbia at this point. Let me zoom in here a little bit closer, give you an idea here. So now our latest warning is this one. This would include Lexington, Richland County. This would include, remember I said West Columbia, Lexington, heads up that it would be headed your way. This is the one that's headed your way that I was telling you about. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as our current setting. So let's go to radar and check out where this storm is in relation to where we were just a few minutes ago. Remember, this is the same storm that went through Batesburg, Leesville, that's now off towards the east. Yeah, this is the cell here, right there. So again, this is the one that is producing the tornado warning that is moving off towards the east. So a tornado warning is now in effect for Lexington and Richland County as this cell is moving towards the east. So Irmo, West Columbia, Springdale, Pine Ridge, the city of Columbia itself, West Columbia, all this is quickly headed your way. So I want you to head to your safe place, wherever that may be. Maybe it's an interior room, such as a closet. Head into the bathroom. I know that sounds crazy. Put a towel over your head, get into the tub, let this thing pass. Just be very nonchalant about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about opening up windows. There's no need for any of that. Just head to your safe place. Now, we'll tell you once again, everything that I'm seeing on this, I'm not seeing rotation. That doesn't mean there isn't any, but I will tell you, look at this particular cell. And this particular cell here, notice how it bows out like this. There's Ballantyne. That's a great indication to me of damaging winds. So it's sort of like if you were walking and you're pushing a door, that's what the atmosphere is doing. It's pushing. So it's pushing here, and when it's pushing like this and it bows out like that, that's a great indication certainly of damaging winds here. So there's Cedar Creek, there's Ballantyne, Jenkinsville south of you. Again, Chapin, I think you're in the clear. This is all to the east of you. It's this cell I'm worried about. This is where we have our tornado warning, where again, even though we can spot a tornado, it could go away, pop up, and it could also come back down. That's why the warning has been extended for a length of period of time because these storms have been known to produce tornadoes. That's why we have the tornado warning. So again, we have another tornado warning in effect. We have two now that we're tracking. The new one is for Lexington, Richland counties, the one that's sort of flashing right here. The one further towards the south is done. Remember, that's done. So this is the new one that I said would be affecting Lexington and Springdale, West Columbia, and sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. So we've got two warnings here. Let's get to them. There's this one. All right, that's until 10:15. Again, this is a tornado warning, means a tornado has been spotted, and this was on radar, the spotting of this particular tornado. Let me get to this one here, and this is, again, further towards the north, and this is Fairfield, Lexington, although it says Newberry. Newberry, you're in the clear here with this, so this would be the latest with our two warnings. Is now this goes all the way into central Richland County here. Which cell are we talking about? Let me show you here. Let me load the radar up and see if we can do a different view here. We can keep going to the same view. There we are. So there's the current view of what we're looking at with these cells. Look at that. Irmo, I want you to have heads up. This is going to be Ballantine. You're just getting it right now north of you. Again, there's that bowing out here. I think that is some damaging winds. That actually may be one of our tornadic storms. And same thing for this particular cell right in here. Let's see if I can go street level here. There's Irmo. You see Broad River Road. There's Ballantine. There's Highway 6 by the dam. This thing is, again, this is one big cell here. I would imagine this is producing not only wind speeds of 60 miles per hour, certainly some hail here with this as this moves off towards the east. There's Highway 60, 176, 26. Again, it's a white knuckle ride. This is all moving towards the east. So heads up downtown Columbia. If you're downtown, be prepared. Skies are probably getting black off towards the west. That's moving towards downtown. All of this is, which includes the tornado warning. All right, so again, this is moving very quickly. Look at Red Bank here. Lexington Red Bank, remember I said this is headed your way? Boom, there it is. That's why I wanted you to pretend you were under a tornado warning before you actually were under a tornado warning, right? Here it is. One more time. Let's look at the warnings, and then we'll see if there's any rotation here with these particular storms. There it is. There's our warning, our tornado warning till 10:15. Both of these for Lexington, Richland, Fairfield County. It says Newberry, but Newberry, you're in the clear. It is the far eastern part of Newberry County anyway, and you're fine at this point. Do not worry about it. You do not have a tornado threat for Newberry County, I promise you. The next tornado warning is this one here where Lexington, see where it's flashing? So Lexington, that's you, and that also goes into the city of Columbia. So this also includes Irmo. All of Columbia, basically from downtown north. But again, like I said before, if you're watching on all of Columbia, West Columbia, Springdale, South Congaree, you're not in that warning, but I want you to pretend that you are, right? Because there are some decent storms out to your west that are moving in your direction, and that hail is pretty big. I mean, this is, quarter-size hail and higher with this, so it's producing hail very, very quickly, which is an indication that these are pretty tall storms, right? Which means they're pretty big, intense storms. These storms were intense to begin with, and they continue to be so. So let's look at velocity and see what we can find here. I'm going to load this up and see if we can see any rotation involved with these particular cells. We're just going to go here and see what we can find. And I'm not seeing anything that indicates rotation to me. Let's go to Irmo. No, I don't see that. So what we look for in this, if you're just joining us, we look for rotation. And what is all this red and green anyway? Well, the radar is able to pick up wind speeds. When wind is headed towards the radar, it's in green. When it's going away from the radar, it's in red. However, when the two meet or get close together, when you've got basically a red and a green, something like this, but this is too well defined, right? I look for jagged edges. When I see jagged edges with the wind coming to and from the radar, that indicates rotation, right? So that's what we look for in the atmosphere. We look for these, what we call couplets. I don't see any. This is this may look like a hot mess, but trust me, this looks very clean compared to what it would normally look if there was a lot of rotation in this. That doesn't mean there's not, it's just I don't see any of this reaching the ground at this point. So there certainly could be in the upper atmosphere, but certainly not of it to where it's reaching the ground, which is fine. That's what we want. Still, with that being said, man, these storms are going to produce some wind. Wind speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. We'll zoom in closer here. Yeah, Lexington, remember I said heads up for you. You're getting it right now. There's I-20. Let's see if we can go a little closer here into town. So there's downtown Lexington. This is now basically over Lexington itself. Again, this is producing very heavy rain. I would also say some frequent lightning, possibility of hail, but the rain is probably just tremendous, an absolute whiteout. So give you an idea where this is at. I can't go too far. Once you get a little blurry, but you get the idea there. There's Highway 1. There's Highway 6, downtown Lexington. We go out here, and there's 378. And Highway 1 where they split, right? So, I mean, that's where they split, right? And that's where basically the end of the severe weather is. All right, so again, right there at the split of 378 Highway 1, where the Ford dealership is, you know where that is, right there. That's where the worst of it is now towards the east. So Lexington, you're about ready to get into the worst of it with some heavy rain, damaging winds here with this. We've had the threat of a tornado. Further towards the north, let's go up here to Irmo and Ballantyne. White Rock, you're done with any severe weather. Same thing with Chapin. Like I said, Little Mountain, you've had some heavy rain, but you're done with severe weather. All right, so notice this band of heavy rain and storms. This is between Ballantyne and Cedar Creek. Again, all this is moving quickly towards the east. Irmo, yep, you're going to get some pretty heavy rain and gusty winds at this point. There's the 176, that's Broad River Road. So this is the Broad River Road I-26 exit. As you can see right here, there's Irmo, there's Highway 60. That's Highway 6 near the dam. That's coming up with some pretty decent rain, some gusty winds as well. I would say, if at all possible, don't even travel on the interstates. If you got to be somewhere, be late. Say, let's wait for this to pass, because this is a white knuckle ride on all these roads here until this activity passes. And again, this is happening so fast with these storms. The idea of these tornadoes staying on the ground would, I find it hard to believe that this is, the activity is moving so quickly that these tornadoes will form and then come and go as fast as they pop up. So there's our two tornado warnings. One you can see to the north here. And you notice that they've shaved this off here a little bit. Remember, I said, Newberry, you're in the clear for a while. Well, they've done that, so they've gotten rid of Newberry. This was the tornado warning that went into Newberry and Chapin. I said, Chapin, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Boom. The National Weather Service has cut that in half. We're still worried about this. Not worried about it. We're just tracking it, right? I don't want you to worry about anything. I just want you to be safe. And then this is our next tornado warning, that line of storms that went through Lexington. That's now moving into Irmo, and that will move into Columbia as well. So again, this is moving so fast, we can have a tornado form, pop back in the sky, and as the thing moves off towards the east, you can have another one drop down. So these will be quick in and out type of things. These will not be on the ground long at all, because the system's just moving way too fast, and the atmosphere isn't conducive to these big, long, tornadic storms. Does that make sense? So again, nonetheless, I want you to be prepared for this and be extra cautious as these storms move on through. There's the worst of it now, through about Red Bank and Lexington. Again, this is making a beeline towards Columbia. There's Irmo. Notice, Irmo, you're about ready to be done with this. In the meantime, heads up for West Columbia, Casey, Springdale, Pine Ridge. Let's see, what else do we have here? Cedar Creek, you're getting hammered right now. Blythewood, you're soon going to get on this as well. There's 77 with some rain. Look to your west. Again, this is what's headed your way into Winnsboro. There's 77. Look at Fairfield County. Again, that is some pretty strong winds. I would say at least 60-mile-per-hour winds. Probably some hail here with this as well. Let me see hail tracks. It's not showing any, but still, nonetheless, wouldn't be surprised if there's hail in any of this. Decent line of storms that goes from just north of Winnsboro, from Great Falls, Winnsboro, through Richland County, into Lexington, all the way down into Sally and Windsor, Springfield into western Orangeburg County, then into Barnwell County. Look at Blackville and Denmark. These are some pretty strong storms for you. You're not under any warning as of yet. Let's make sure of that. Let's see if there's any severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't think there are. for you, but we'll take a look real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if one does pop up, as these storms are continuing to move off towards the east rather rapidly. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, sure enough. So Barnwell, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see here. I had a feeling just looking at that cell that you were under a severe thunderstorm warning, and you are until 10:15. All right, so Barnwell, another 10 minutes. Still, though, that looks like a powerful storm. They may continue down, even all south of Allendale. They may continue to extend that towards the east. Let me move this over here. So this also now includes Orangeburg, and actually could be a different one. So if you're just joining us, Orangeburg, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And let's see how long this goes till. That goes till 10:30. So 10:30 for Orangeburg County. Let's go to Orangeburg and find out where your storms are. Your storms are probably either just to the west of you or over you at this point. Let's see here, and they're far to the west, so you're under this till 10:30. So what this means is, this is a great heads up here, right? So Orangeburg, your severe thunderstorm warning goes till 10:30. You haven't even received it yet, but that's a great indication how fast these storms are moving. So you're about ready to receive wind speeds of 60 miles per hour, certainly some hail and some very heavy rain with this cell. It's not in town yet, but look to the west, right? You're going to get what Sally, Nisus North, Norway, Springfield are getting right now. Blackville, you're getting hammered. Please be okay down in Blackville, Denmark. All of this is moving off towards the east. So this will be in Orangeburg County and then into Clarendon County. This isn't going to lose any strength here. I mean, this thing was pretty vigorous earlier this morning, and it still remains so this mid-morning here, right, at 10 after 10 here. And this is about the time that I said these storms would move on through, right? Let's go back to our tornado warnings. If you're just joining us, again, these are short-lived tornado warnings. I don't see any rotation in this, but the National Weather Service still has them listed as the tornado warning. See that flashing? It's the same tornado warning. I think this is, let's see if we can redo this and find out how long these warnings go to, right? So here's the latest one. This goes Thursday until 10:06. Well, that means they probably will cancel that here in just short order. Let's check out this one. This is the tornado warning for Columbia. As you're just joining us, we've been tracking these throughout much of the morning, and I haven't seen any rotation. And again, that's hail again till 10:05. So that means they may just cancel these, as the rotation is really not being seen in this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So what we look for is rotation. And what does rotation mean? How are we able to detect rotation in these storms? Well, I'll zoom out here and show you. So this is, see how the radar, the little sweeping little line you see, that's the radar officially of the National Weather Service. We tap into that, and then we overlay our tools that we're able to detect what the atmosphere looks like. So in order for us to tell whether there's a tornado or not, this is why the system's moving so fast. These tornadoes can form and then they're gone. What we want to see here, look at this, see how we have the red and the green? Red means winds are going away from the radar. Green means the winds are coming towards the radar. And when they sort of intersect and they meet and they're basically on top of each other, the red and the green like this, that's an indication of rotation in the atmosphere. And it's sort of a jagged looking thing. This doesn't look jagged to you. I mean, it may, but it's from the standpoint, this looks really clean compared to what we look for as what we call couplets, where we see that rotation. I don't see any of that. Doesn't mean that we don't have strong winds. Yes. It doesn't mean that we can't have rotation perhaps higher up and that comes down and then quickly pops up, because that's what we're dealing with today. These tornadoes are very, very quick. These are not going to be on the ground long like we've seen in the Midwest last few days. That's not what we're dealing with. This system is moving so fast, but the atmosphere is ripe, right? The instability and everything we need to produce a tornado is there. So that's what we're seeing. But again, they happen so quickly, we're not being able to catch them in rotation, meaning they're not on the ground long, if on the ground at all, right? They could be just in the upper atmosphere. Still, nonetheless, I want you to be safe here and pay heed to the warning, meaning make sure you have your safe place that you go to, whether it be a closet. By the way, don't worry about vanity. I mean, if something's in the closet, you're going to throw it out in the hallway. I mean, I want you safe in a place where you won't be hit by anything if indeed a tornado is coming towards you. Don't worry about what you look like, gather anything. Don't worry about opening up windows. That old wise tale of opening up, windows for pressure, that's meaningless, doesn't mean anything. If there's a tornado outside your door, it'll take care of your windows. You just need to take care of you. This particular cell, look at this, towards between Winsboro and Ridgeway, near I-77. There we go again with this bowing out here. All right, so a great indication. Anytime we have this like bowing, that's a great indication. Pushing, that's the wind's pushing. It's like if you were taking a door and pushing a door open, that's what the wind is doing when it bows out like that. Here's a next view here, bows out there. That's a really decent cell here. There's Ridgeway. Ridgeway heads up for you. That's headed right towards town. That will produce 60-mile-per-hour winds, certainly some hail and some extremely heavy rain as that moves off towards the east. Again, once you're done with this, you're done. So I just want you to understand that this is not an all-day thing. Blythewood, remember I said heads up? Look what's headed your way. That is a mighty powerful storm. So this is going to blow through town here in short order. The skies are going to black very quickly. The winds are going to pick up, and this is going to come right through town. This will probably produce hail. It has the possibility of producing a tornado because we're under a tornado watch till 1 o'clock. So Blythewood, I want you to pay very close attention now as this storm is moving off towards the east towards you. Cedar Creek, you're done. You're done with severe weather. You don't have to worry about it. But all of this is my biggest concern right now at this point. So this would be northern Richland County. Then you get into Fairfield County. This is moving towards the east, towards Blythewood. That's the biggest concern that I have at this point with that particular cell. So I want you to pay heed, make sure that you head to your safe place, right? Because that can easily produce damaging winds, if not a tornado. Further towards the south here, we now have a decent amount. We got some ground clutter from the radar itself, but give you an idea here of these storms about ready to move into Columbia, Lexington. You're pretty much done with it. Notice as we go further towards the west, this is all rain, right? The severe weather's done. Let's go to our tornado warnings again. Again, they're here for just a few more minutes unless they've extended them, and then as they extend them, we'll come back, but we're on for just a few more minutes here with these tornado warnings till 10:15. Again, this would include Columbia. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here, give you an idea here. Fairfield County. Notice Blythewood, you're not under a tornado warning, but that's that cell that has the tornado warning right now. That's what's headed your way as we speak. So again, this is something I want you to pay attention to, Blythewood. You're not under a tornado warning, but the storm that produced that tornado warning is headed right towards you. All right, for a few more minutes till about 10:15 will these storms move on through. All right, let's go back to radar and I'll show you here. If you're just joining us, we're tracking what is 2 tornado warnings from tornadoes that were spotted on radar. But again, we're in this type of weather pattern here that these tornadoes will be very short-lived and very quick. So Blythewood, I'm most concerned about this particular cell, about ready to head towards you and also towards Ridgeway. All right, so just north of Ridgeway and south, we go to near Blythewood, just to the west of Blythewood. It's that particular cell I'm worried about as the possibility of producing tornadoes. Here's a decent cell off of I-20. All right, so careful for that. There's 26, there's 20. Northeast part of town could very easily see some wind speeds of up to 60 miles per hour or more as these storms move on through. Just join us, 10:14. We're a minute away. Let's see if they continue these tornado warnings, the continuation of these warnings for sure. But again, I just gave you a sort of a view of some of the other storms that we need to keep a very close eye on here. Let me get rid of these little information here. Let's update this here, see what we can find. Probably the same thing. They're going to keep these up till 10:15. So that's an indication that they're not extending these. That doesn't mean they won't, but it's an indication that that would certainly be good news if they don't extend them. But even if they don't extend these warnings, which they might do that or issue another one, the deal is these wind speeds, I'm telling you, at 60 miles per hour at least, with some decent hail here with this. We've seen some pretty big hail. I mean, for us, I mean, nothing like they see in the Midwest the last couple hours into last night, but certainly for us, it is pretty good. Lana's here. Lana Fox, are you mic'd up and ready to go?
I am, yes.
All right. Are you on? Maybe we could pot Lana up here for just a moment. She could add some insight to this. What are you seeing on radar at this point from your vantage point?
So I'm
Pretty
currently,
much matching what I'm looking at.
it looks a little bit better than what we're looking at as far as I'm able to zoom in a little more. But there is definitely rotation, but it's not as heavy. It's not as strong as what I saw earlier.
Yeah, and look at the velocity here in this. I'm not seeing a lot of rotation here with this, right? I mean, we're not looking at. This is pretty smooth, right? So I mean, notice how smooth it is, because what we want to look for is couplets, right? And that's where you've got green coming towards the radar, red away from the radar. And when they're close together, that's a great indication of rotation. This looks like it's close together, right? If you look at it, right? But it's very
usually
smooth. It's jagged.
Whenever you have red in green,
Right.
or green in red, usually that's when things are like, okay, it's getting a little bit serious. But what we've seen is no individualization of those colors, which is a good thing.
Right, which makes me think that this has all been perhaps upper atmosphere rotation, right? Not necessarily reaching the ground. That doesn't matter. I mean, right? It's still rotation, and it can reach the ground. Hence, the National Weather Service issuing the tornado warning.
I do believe they have lifted it.
All right, so let's go and see if our tornado warnings are officially done. So let's take one look here. If you're just joining us, so they're officially done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the tornado warnings are officially done. This will update here in just a moment. So there you have it. We've been tracking these tornado warnings. Does not mean there won't be more as a possibility. These are the line of storms we're most concerned about now. I would say, Lana, this one through Fairfield County into Blythewood. Blythewood heads up for you. I think that's pretty wicked. It's going through right now downtown Columbia, I think with some gusty winds, easily up to 60 miles per hour. Here is the tornado watch that remains in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Again, this is for all of them. Also overlaid is that severe thunderstorm warning. So here's our severe thunderstorm warning that continues basically all the way towards the south. So unless it's a tornado warning that pops up again, we'll continue to watch this. Stay with us for the very latest. Thank you for being with us. And through this time of severe weather, we'll continue to track this and keep you updated with the very latest. If there's more warnings, we'll be on instantly. Be sure to download the WLTX app so you have everything that you need weather-wise in the palm of your hand. That's the very latest with our weather. We'll keep you updated as we move throughout the day.